Hey there, my name is Admiral Prince Eric and welcome back to my channel. So, we discussed about the first impressions about the top tier ships like Audacious and the upcoming Spanish heavy cruiser Castilla. So, be sure to like, subscribe and click the bell on the notification icon so we can upload my video about on the weekends right now. So let's get started about this ship to be first impressions. Okay, so I'm gonna start about the Audacious. So Audacious is a top tier of the British aircraft carrier being recently released back in 2019. Okay, this is the third tier 10 aircraft carrier to be on the spot, such as like the Midway and Hakulia appearance back in 2015 when On the Game was released. So accordingly, the Audacious, although Wargaming, do you know about this year design was 1945 though? But no. That Audacious as the lead ship of the Audacious class aircraft carrier being officially renamed as the Eagle. However, the Audacious is entered service after the Second World War. It will be remain until 1980s when when the ship sent it to scrap. So here we are in the game. So this is gonna be the Audacious look-alike when she was entered service after the Second World War. And prior to that, the planes will be upgraded into a jet fighter to accommodate for this aircraft carrier. So let's get started about some survivability. The hit points is about 63,400 and the torpedo protection damage reduction is about 34%. Now, the aircraft consists all of the Western Variant planes, the attack aircrafts, torpedo bombers, and the cluster munition bombs. All of which are none of the appearances of the planes aboard the Audacious at this time, since we appeared in the game. The attack aircraft, which is hit points about 2,530, the speed is about 151 knots, maximum speed 194 knots. The rockets and payload consist of 12, maximum rocket damage is about 2,350. Armor penetration is about 28 millimeters. Chance of, Chances of causing a fire on the target is about 11%, which means the detectability range is about 10 kilometers. Next one is torpedo bombers, consist of the Westland Vikings. Hit points is about 2,766, speed is about 153 knots, maximum speed 190 knots. The torpedo damage is about 5,933, which is aerial torpedo speed 37 knots. Range is about 2.4 kilometers and arming distance is 580 meters. Detectability is also the same parameters. Next one is the Cluster Munition Bombers. The same aircraft was used for this aircraft carrier. Hit points is about 2,670, speed is about 160 knots, maximum speed 200 knots. Detectability range is about the same parameters. Bombs in payload will be consist of 6. They comes with a cluster bombing munitions. Maximum bomb damage is 6,400. Armor penetration 41 millimeters. Chances causing fire on target is about 43 millimeters. So be sure for that must be straight on target on the flat shape ahead. If you go possibility ahead to set on fire against towards the enemy ship. So be careful for the bomb is strapped around. The artillery consists of the secondaries 130 millimeters 45 QF Mark 1 3 on the IP-10 Mark 2 BD mounts. Will be the 8x2 consists of reload time is about 5 seconds, range is about 5 kilometers. Maximum damage is about 1,700. Armor penetration capacity is about 19 millimeters. Initial velocity is about 746 meters per second. So here's the look up ahead, the port and starboard side on the secondary battery in the aircraft carrier. So be sure for that these aircraft carriers or the secondaries is the best of self-defense. The airstrikes consist depth charge airstrike, Henri, Page, Halifax, GR. Consists one attack flight. You can manually doing this the depth charge airstrike until the subs has been detected. When the subs has been detected, they will automatically use depth charge airstrikes at any distance. The reload time is about 25 seconds, only one available flight. The normal aircraft that attack the flight is always on 1. HP is about 2250, range is about 8 kilometers. Bouncing payload for only 1. The bomb damage is about 4,900. Okay, there are some of the AA defenses ahead since the Audacious being entered service after the Second World War. There are the AA guns 14mm 56 OQM Mark III on the Mark 8 mount, which is usually 9x1, 14mm. Next one is the AA guns 14mm 56 OQM Mark 11 on the Mark 5 mount. Next, the AA guns 14mm 56 OQM Mark 9 on the Mark 6 mount, which the 8x6. The last one is used to come for the secondary battle, which is used as an anti-aircraft. The continuous damage is about 375. The damage per shell explosion is about 1,544. Priority sector reinforcement 35%. The firing range is about 5.8 kilometers at distances. So you can choose any left or right priority sector. You will get a more damage as usual to get the rate of enemy planes. Okay, so the maneuverability is about 33.6 knots, which is not much faster than enough for against midway. Turning circle radius about 1,040 meters. The rudder shift time 50.7 seconds. So basically, this is usually the stealth agile aircraft carrier at to do so. Concealment is about this. Ranges by sea is about 14.3 kilometers, which is going to be the respective upgrade, which is going to be later discussed about that. Range by depth is about from 0 to 11.2 kilometers. The detectability range by air is about 11.2 kilometers. And the assured detectability range is about 2 kilometers as well. So basically, you can go on some Audacious has been wrote about the aircraft carrier is going to be support strike build. Okay, so let's head on for the upgrade module. Now there are the stock modules of the planes consist of Blackbird Firebrand. The Blackbird Firebrand only comes for 3 aircrafts in all roles. Okay, so I'm gonna recommend it about the Audacious to be specified cautious. However, in the 6th slot, which is a unique upgrade. Okay, so the module 1 upgrade is going to be Air Groups Mod 1. The second upgrade mod is the Aircraft Engines Mod 1. And the third one is the Aerial Torpedoes Mod 1 that I'll always use for that. Which is going to be the aerial torpedo speed is about 5%. Or you may choose that anyone to do for the Torpedo Bombers Mod 1 or Attack Aircraft Mod 1. Which is going to be the increases of the attack time for 5 seconds at this point. Our 4th slot, I'm gonna recommend it about the Torpedo Bombers Mod 2, which is gonna be the extremely lowest hit points. Look about that, which has got a 2,766, which is the highest one. Or you can also switch out to the Bombers Mod 2. When it comes to that, you will get increased HP on the Cluster Munition Bombers. Or you can also use that the Attack Aircraft Mod 2, which is going to be increased HP for the attack aircraft, which is you can 3 options to do that for taking any role if you want them. Now, the 5th slot is always Flight Control Mod 1. This will help that to reduce the aircraft's preparation time, as well as the maximum number of aircraft each time on the day is about 2%, is increased to 2. Now, if you don't have a legendary leg mod update, you can always take cautious about the flight control mod too, until the unique upgrade is fully mounted on. Okay, so I'm gonna see right now the topics about the research in Audacious in the World of Warships wiki. Okay, so accordingly, it is 6th slot using the forced takeoff and landing equipment, which is one of the most recommended upgrades about Audacious. This will help them about the expands the ship's tactical role by reducing the minimal effective engagement range. Here are the parameters. Minus 50% to the ship's detectability range by sea, plus 20% engine boost action time, the minus 50% to the time it takes to reach full power when accelerating, and reduces the rudder shift time. But this will help them to reduce its rudder shift time about the 15.7, which becomes 13, 13 seconds. As far as it take a go, it will be minus 50% to the time it takes to reach full power and accelerating. When try to not avoid CV sniping like Grab Sepidi and Musashi according from the video on Euro. Okay, so description it is, the upgrade allows the ship to get close to an opponent and thus increase the frequency of her attack aircrafts. At the same time, the risk of being detected by the opponent, as well as the risk of falling under heavy fire increases. The thing is, you should get a temporary upgrade module right now, the Flight Control Mod 2, until the unique upgrade will be mounted on. Okay, so what I'm going about the aircraft, the commander skills about the British aircraft carrier so far. So I recommended the 10 skill points of the following: the air supremacy, the improved engine boost, improved engines, sight stabilization, and the survivability expert accounts for a 10 skill points for the aircraft carrier. Okay, for some British aircraft carrier recommendations are the following. We're gonna need the pilot technician, or simply the demolition expert. We also helps for that the Cluster Munition Bombs will be definitely going to set on fire, but it will take time to hit the amount of the enemy ships will be caused to set on fire. It will take a higher chances to do it. Like next one's a bomber flight control. It's always useful for that. The cluster munition bombs is always slower for that to take minor. Now the last one is the enhanced aircraft armor, which is going to be reduces damage for the A shell explosions about 25% for that. Or you can sacrifice the pilot technician to go aircraft armor. This retains the aircraft to do for a survivability method. So here we are, guys. I'm done right now about the Audacious, about my first impressions so far, and some going to review about it for the new players, including me. So what do you think about the first impressions about the Audacious? So link down on the comment below if you wanted to go something questions up there. So let's get going. By the way, before heading on to Castilla, let's check out the armor layout. Okay, so the armor layout, be cautious about this. The armor belt consists 114 millimeters. Let's check something beneath it. Okay, so the armor belt is about 114 millimeters. The casemate armor is about 25 millimeters. Be careful for about that, the CV sniper. Be careful about against CV snipers. You get accidental hits by hitting the armor belt 114 millimeters. That is a long dead shot. Well, be cautious about that. The CVs should reverse side at the start of the battle. Do not getting risky on brawls. Okay? So be careful about the ship. It's a weak armor about the Audacious so far. Okay, so let's get head on the upcoming full release of the Spanish heavy cruiser Castilla. So here we are. The upcoming Tier 10 Spanish heavy cruiser Castilla is right now on the way ahead for the next update in this month. So what is Castilla? So the Castilla is named after the autonomous community of Spain, in which the year design was on 1940 when World War II began, although Spain remained neutral at the time. Okay, so Castilla, it looks like a resembling differences like Napoli. Napoli is an Italian Tier 10 heavy cruiser at that time, which is usually featured at something the main battery turrets, A guns, torpedoes, and the secondary batteries. Look about that. This is going to be the symbol of the Napoli, right? So let's take on for some first impression. Okay, survivability is going to be hit points about 51,000. The torpedo protection damage reduction is about 90%, which is going to be extremely fair hard target. The main battery, the artillery. The main battery consists 254mm 60 turret, count by 3x3. The reload time is about 11.4 seconds. Minimum shell time switching is about the same reload time. The dispersion is about 141 meters. The range is about 17.1 kilometers. Here are the HE shells consist damage about 3,450. Armor piercing shells got damage about 6,150. Some features of the upcoming Spanish cruiser in the tech tree is always to do a burst fire. What is burst fire? Burst fire comes from a secondary supership ability called for cruisers. It will going to be a rapid fire main battery, but it will take a long reload time to do some seriously trouble. So I'm gonna see all the equipment right now for anything information on will be later. The secondary battery consists 128mm 61 KM40 in the turret. These secondary turrets accounts for adjustments like Cluster Munition appearance. Reload time is about 4 seconds, maximum range 7.7 kilometers. Damage is about 1,500. Chances of cross fire is about 7%. Armor penetration capacity 21mm, and initial velocity 900 meters per second. Now the torpedoes, just like a Napoli. The torpedo tubes consist 533mm Queen Trooper torpedo launchers. It will be 2x5 about 533mm. Range is about 8 kilometers. Speed is 62 knots. The reload time is about 106 seconds. The torpedo damage is about 16,633. Detectability range is about 1.3 kilometers. Airstrikes, which is got depth charge airstrike Focke-Wulf FW200 Conde. There are 2 attack flights. Reload time is about 30 seconds. Available flights is only 2. Number of aircraft in attacking flight is always on 1. HP 2000, range is about 8 kilometers. Bombs in payload comes for 2, and the bomb damage is about 4,900. Now, what are the A defenses? The A defenses counts for the Italy version, Italians, yes. The A guns consist 20mm 70 Breda model 1941 and 6 bombs. Will be the firing range. Sorry for that. Will be discussed. Next, the A guns 37mm 54 model 1939 quadruple mount. This comes heavily from the A defense mounts coming from Lepanto. And the A guns is also for the secondaries. They are coming from the Germans. Continuous damage is about 352. Damage by shell explosions 1,691. Priority sector reinforcements about 50%. The firing range is about 6 kilometers, which is going to be a prioritized sector comes from left and right, doing something AA damage against enemy planes. So let's head on maneuverability. The maximum speed is about 38.9 knots. Turning circle radius about 820 meters, and the rudder shift time is about 11.5 seconds, which is pretty aggressive Spanish heavy cruiser at the time, which is described to be. Now, the last thing to do is conceal. Detectability range by sea is about 11.7 kilometers with the upgrade modules and commander skills. Detectability range by there is from 0 to 9.2 kilometers. Detectability range by air is about 9.2 kilometers, and the assured detectability range is about 2 kilometers as well. So, what do you think about that? Is the Castilla becomes the Henri IV's rival or not? So basically, the Castilla whatsoever mentions about this. So if you want to go, comment section below, which gonna be the Castilla's primary motivations about that. Alright, so let's head on for the armor layout before heading on to the equipment. Okay, so the armor layout mostly comes for 16 to 250 millimeters, which armor belt is the torpedo protection 40%, casemate armor is about 33%. We are going to move forward to this. As you can see, this is going to be a potential citadel hits. The deck armor is about 19 millimeters, the torpedo bulkhead 14 millimeters. Going to be the weakest of the Spanish cruiser at that time, which is going to be prone to citadel hits, which is much to be like a French heavy cruiser on the board so far. Oh, anyways, let's head on to the equipment. But despite the fact that Castilla is going to be Henri IV's rival, I recommended upgrades to do so. In our first slot, we'll take main armaments mod 1. In the second slot, we'll do engine room protection. So we don't need it for this defensive 85 or hydroacoustic search mod 1 at that time. But it always for that the engine room protection counts for the French heavy cruiser line. The third will be going aiming systems mod 1. The fourth will always do a prop mod 1. The fifth one is going to be always concealment system mod 1. We don't need it to use the steering gears mod 2 at that time for a Spanish heavy cruiser on the top tier. The last thing to do, main battery mod 3. Here are the consumables of the following, which is going to be the damage control party, repair party, spotting aircraft, or you can choose between them, and any certain commanders will be optional, as well as the hydroacoustic search or defensive aim-5. But I always go the hydroacoustic search. It will help them to spot enemy torpedoes within the site. And defensive aim-5 meanwhile, which is going for the role for the AA view, but they are the least fortunate circumstances. Now, one of the features of the head is the burst fire. One of the features of the super ships comes for cruisers is a burst fire, featuring of the Spanish heavy cruiser on the top tier. When it comes to the fact, just like example about Conde, when the Conde goes on the rapid fire burst fire mechanics, which is going to be a rapid fire, they repeated the fire again. Then after that, it will be a long later time, just like a Supercruisers, like Conde, Annapolis, Soki, and etc. The reader time of the top tier Spanish cruisers is about 25.1 seconds. The interval between individual shots is about 1.06 seconds. Burst fire will become to 2 ones. You can fire both simultaneously between HE shells and armor-piercing shells. It will greatly help them to gain more damage. While the HE shells will be using the burst fire mechanics, it will be a rapid fire upgrade towards enemy ship, will be immediately set more damage, and will be eventually cause fires. While the armor piercing shells using the burst fire mechanic fire on the broadside immediately, fire of them up all towards enemy ships on the full broadside, you will gain a potential citadel hits. So next one will be going on commander skills. Our recommended commander skills will be going in the last session before the upcoming Spanish cruisers in the tech tree will be on the next update in this month. Sorry about that, sorry. Okay, the first 10 skill points are the following. We always take grease the gears, demolition expert, adrenaline rush, or concealment expert. By the way, if you want, by the way, priority target is not recommended for that, but it comes for that in Unreal 4. So our better option to go a demolition expert to do so. The next one will be going a top grade gunner. Top grade gunner is very most important. When the ship's gun comes with a detectability range, the top grade gunner is finally activated. But it will be permanent effect, which is going to be a secondary value with reload times about 10%. Next thing to do is super detective, which is going to need additional charges of all consumables. Most importantly, used for the repair part. I'll recommend it, which is going to be outnumber. So outnumber, which is going to be a not going to use that this commander skill. So my advice to say we'll go a gun dealer, which is expert reloads, which is commonly used for that, similarly of the French heavy cruiser under the fort so far, but alternatives will be going them to use them. So what do you think about that? So I'm gonna take on recommended about the survivability expert, or if you wanted to go the increased AP shell damage, this will be 6,458. So I'm gonna recommend about heavy AP shells for the time, which means Spanish cruisers will be featuring a burst fire mechanics. It will be great deal for the lot of ton of heavy damage towards enemy ships for a while. So I'm gonna wish to do so a heavy AP shells to do for a map. So here are the recommended upgrade skills will be used for that on the live server. Once the Spanish cruisers will be head on for the next update. So what do you think about my first impression about the Castilla? So be sure to comment down below. So about the gameplay of Castilla and Audacious so far that I recorded on it last week. So be sure to visit my gameplay ahead about Castilla and Audacious will be linked in the description below. So thank you guys so much watching, and I hope you enjoy about my first impressions about Castilla and Audacious. We'll be looking forward to it for the update 12.8 goes live about the full release of the Spanish cruisers, as well as the World of Warships anniversary. Take a look at the port right now, which is going to be the retrospective. So this is going to be designer's table. See you about that. It's gonna be a lovely. So retro is gonna be a 1970s or 1980s. So there you have it, folks. I'm going to end of my recording session video. So thank you guys so much watching, and I hope you like, subscribe, and click the bell on the notification icon. So I will recording ahead for the weekends at the time. So weekends at the time, or weekdays will be going for some updates. We'll be following up to it. So see you up ahead in the update 12.8 for the full release of the Spanish cruisers becomes a researchable one, as well as the World of the Warships anniversary. The game will be 8 years old right now, and seems to be our future. The World of Warships will be done right about to it. So good luck, guys, and have a fair winds in the following scenes. So thank you guys so much watching, and I hope you see you in my next video. Stay tuned, guys.